Thursday, September 11th. Just 3 days until Celtic are back on the pitch, and finally, we can start looking ahead instead of sideways. The international break? Over. Done. Time to get back to what really matters. The football, the club, and the fans who make it all move. And today, there's no shortage of talking points. From a huge fan meeting in Glasgow, to the Europa League ticket prices stirring debate, to Dyson Maeda's surprising comments while away on international duty. This week has had everything but a match day. So let's unpack it. Let's start with what happened last night in Glasgow City Centre. A fan consultation meeting that might go down as the spark of a larger, unified campaign from the Celtic support. Now, this wasn't just a casual get-together at the pub. This was a planned meeting that stemmed from the open letter sent to the club earlier this year. Over 420 signatories supported that letter, and last night's event was the next big step. It's still very early days, but the idea is clear. Build something real, something organized, something with a voice loud enough that it can't be ignored. What's powerful here is not just the intent, but the response. Ahead of this meeting, fans were asked to complete a survey. In just 3 days, nearly 39,000 people responded. That is an insane number for any football club, and it tells you just how fired up Celtic fans are right now. There's a growing feeling among supporters that the current board is out of touch with the pulse of the fan base. And that survey? Apparently, every single major question was answered with over 90% in favor of taking some sort of action, whether that's protesting, merchandise boycotts, late arrivals to matches, or early walkouts. The appetite for change is real. Now, let's be clear, nothing definitive was agreed at this meeting. No dramatic plans announced, no immediate protests laid out. But there was a shared sentiment in the room. People are frustrated. People are tired of being unheard. But they also want to be smart. There's a strong sense that any action must be collective, organized, and, most importantly, it cannot harm the team on the pitch. Supporting the players while sending a message to the board, that's the balance fans are trying to strike. And honestly, you've got to respect that. Because as easy as it is to lash out, the supporters in that room were thinking long-term. There were discussions around potentially staying in the concourse for the first 10 or 15 minutes of Sunday's match at Rugby Park. That idea got mixed reactions. Some said it sends a clear message to the board. Others felt it was unfair to the players, especially after the start they've had to this season. There were also suggestions of commercial boycotts, not buying the new kits, cutting back on club merchandise, even avoiding matchday food and drink. Again, no decisions were finalized, but the ideas are out there and gathering steam. One theme kept popping up, though, no matter who was speaking: unity. Fans don't want to turn on each other. They want to act together. Whether you're in favor of protests or think the best thing is to back the team unconditionally, everyone agrees on one thing. The board needs to be held accountable, and the supporters need to have a stronger voice. And now, let's talk about the Europa League ticket prices, because that's another area where fans are feeling pretty disappointed. Celtic finally released details for the 4-match package at Celtic Park, and here's the breakdown. £140 for adult season ticket holders. That's £35 per match. Concessions come in at £112, and under 13s at £100 flat. On paper, maybe that doesn't sound outrageous, but let's put it in context. Back in the last Europa League campaign, just a few years ago, Celtic were charging around £24 per game. So, this is a significant jump. And remember, the quality of opponent, the prestige of the competition, it's not like we're talking about Champions League nights here. This is the Europa League, and while there are definitely some exciting matchups to come, there's a real sense that the pricing could have been more fan-friendly. What makes it all even more frustrating is the fact that UEFA themselves have capped the price of tickets for away fans in the Europa League. The maximum a club can charge now is €35, which is about £30. So, we're left in a situation where away supporters will pay less to get into Celtic Park than home fans will. Think about that for a second. The people who follow this club week in, week out, the ones who fill the stadium through thick and thin, are being asked to pay more than the opposition's traveling support. How does that make sense? Honestly, even if the club had just kept it at £30 per game, still an increase from previous years, I think most fans would have been okay with it. But this? It feels tone-deaf. Especially when you consider how much frustration is already bubbling under the surface with the current leadership. This was a chance for the board to throw the supporters a bone. They didn't take it. Now, will people still show up? Probably. Celtic fans always do. You only have to look back at the preseason friendly against Newcastle United. Loads of chat online about how empty the stadium would be, and yet, the crowd turned up, strong as ever. I expect something similar for games like the Roma match. But let's not pretend this isn't creating unnecessary tension between the fans and the club. Speaking of tension, we've got to talk about Daizen Maeda. Late last night, reports came out revealing that while he was away with the Japan national team, Maeda admitted he wanted to leave Celtic during the summer window. According to him, the move didn't happen only because the club couldn't find a replacement in time. Now, this is a big one. First off, credit to the player for being honest. But it raises major questions. What's his mindset now? What does this mean for Brendan Rodgers' plans going forward? It's no secret that Maeda's performances this season have been below par. He's looked off the pace, lacking the same intensity and hunger we've seen in previous seasons. If his head's not fully in it, then something's got to give. Brendan Rodgers will definitely have a sit-down with him. That much is obvious. Maybe he would have done that anyway, given how the transfer window played out. But now, with Maeda speaking out publicly, it becomes a matter of real urgency. Does he still want to be here? Is he still willing to give 100% for the badge? Because if not, we need to start looking at other options immediately. And let's be honest, this isn't just about Daizen. A few others in the squad look like they're stuck in first gear. We can't just keep rolling out the same 11 that disappointed against Hibs and expect something magical to happen. It's time for changes. It's time to reward the players who've looked sharp, hungry, and ready to take their chance. Guys like Kobe Donovan, who's expected to start this weekend, need to be given a real run. And if the new signings are fit and ready, get them in. Now's the moment to shake things up. Even Brendan Rodgers' best performances so far this season have come when he's rotated heavily. The Falkirk match had energy and flair that we haven't seen from the usual starters. Even in the Livingston game, the second half showed more urgency and composure, again, with a slightly different lineup. So clearly, there's something in that. Maybe it's hunger. Maybe it's players with a point to prove. But whatever it is, we need more of it. As for Maeda, whether he stays until January or the end of the season, this is a crucial period for him. He's not just playing for Celtic. He's playing for a move, for his place in Japan's squad for the World Cup, and for his own pride. Let's hope he can put the transfer drama behind him and rediscover the level we all know he's capable of. Because no one wants to see him or anyone else from this core group go out on a sour note. While we're talking about players and performances, let's touch on the international break and what it really meant for this Celtic squad. Now, normally, when you head into a break like this, you've got a dozen or more first-team players off representing their countries, picking up minutes, gaining form, or sometimes picking up injuries. But this time around, things were different. Celtic had just 8 players away on international duty, and even then, most of them barely featured. Kasper Schmeichel was the standout, playing both matches for Denmark. First, a 0-0 draw against Scotland, then a clean 3-0 win over Greece. That means, believe it or not, Schmeichel is still yet to concede a goal this entire season, club or country. That's over 800 minutes of football without picking the ball out of the net. Say what you want about his performances or whether he's looked convincing at times, but that kind of record is hard to argue with. Sure, some of those matches haven't exactly been against elite attacking teams, but clean sheets are clean sheets. And consistency between the posts is something Celtic have badly needed in recent seasons. Elsewhere, Sano played for Finland in their friendly loss to Norway. Erling Haaland did what Erling Haaland does, sent the keeper the wrong way from the penalty spot. Not much you can do there. Kobe Donovan got solid minutes for Scotland's under-21s in both of their matches, though both ended in 2-0 defeats. Still, the experience will serve him well, especially as he's expected to start this Sunday against Kilmarnock. Liam Scales got a brief run out for Ireland, just 9 minutes in their grim 2-1 defeat to Armenia. Not much to say there. Benji Negrin featured for Sweden, coming off the bench in both of their matches, a 2-2 draw with Slovenia and a 2-0 loss to Kosovo. A tough break for the Swedes. Maeda, as we mentioned earlier, got some time with Japan, came off the bench against Mexico, started the match against the United States. About 84 minutes total for him during the break. And now back to Celtic with more questions surrounding his future than answers. Then there's Sebastian Tenke, who got all of 3 minutes for Czechia, and Johnny Kinney, who didn't see the pitch at all for Ireland. So all in all, not a hugely active international period for Celtics players. And that actually might be a good thing. Because here's the real story. When you look at who didn't go away, the list is massive. You've got Alistair Johnston, Anthony Ralston, Cameron Carter-Vickers, Austin Trusty, Dane Murray, Jumai Simpson, Kieran Tierney, Marcelo Serra, Hayato Namura, Callum McGregor, Rio Hatate, Luke Macau, Paolo Bernardo, James Forrest, Yang Hyunjun, and more. Some of those names are recovering from injury, sure. Others are out of favor with their national teams. But when you stack it all up, what it means is this. Celtic come out of this international break fresh. Rested. No long-haul flights for most of the squad. No grueling doubleheaders. No injuries picked up abroad. And that removes one of the classic excuses you sometimes hear after a poor post-break performance. This Sunday at Rugby Park, there's nowhere to hide. This squad should be ready, physically and mentally. No talk about rust. No need for easing back into rhythm. It's been training at Lennoxtown in preparation for what's shaping up to be a crucial stretch in the season. Because let's not forget, Celtic haven't exactly been flying lately. The draw with Hibs was a frustrating one. Lack of urgency, lack of cohesion, and far too many key players looking off the pace. You could feel the discontent growing, not just online, but in the stands. There's pressure now. Pressure on the players to step up. Pressure on Brendan Rodgers to make bold decisions. And pressure on the board, of course, which brings us right back to that fan unrest we spoke about earlier. This next run of games is going to be pivotal. It's not just about picking up points. It's about setting the tone for the rest of the campaign. If the team comes out on Sunday flat, disjointed, or uninspired, the noise from the fans will grow louder. Not just in protest, but in expectation. Because this is Celtic Football Club. The standards are higher. The patience is thinner. And frankly, the squad is better than what we've been seeing on the pitch. There are questions everywhere. Will the new signings be trusted with starting roles? Will we finally see some fresh combinations in midfield? Can the defense stay organized for 90 minutes, instead of switching off at key moments? And perhaps most importantly, who takes the lead up front? With Maeda's situation uncertain and others still finding their rhythm, Rodgers has to find a formula that works, and fast. Now, in terms of atmosphere on Sunday, it's going to be interesting. Will there be fan action? A protest? A late walk-in or early exit? Or will supporters opt for full backing of the team, with their voices focused against the board, not the players? It's a delicate balance, and it'll set the tone for what comes next, not just in terms of match results, but the broader relationship between club and fans. And that brings us to something that often gets overlooked, the role of communication. Celtic fans aren't unreasonable. They don't expect to win every trophy every season. But what they do expect is clarity, respect, transparency. Right now, there's a vacuum. The board remains silent. The leadership gives off the sense that everything is fine, business as usual. But the supporters see cracks. They feel unheard. And when that happens, trust erodes fast. That's why last night's meeting was so important. Even without concrete actions decided, the fact that fans are gathering, organizing, and thinking collectively is a massive step forward. It's not about division. It's about direction. The club may not be listening right now, but if this unity continues, they won't be able to ignore it much longer. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers across Glasgow grew louder this morning as Celtic sent shockwaves through Scottish football with the sudden announcement involving Stephen Welsh. The 24-year-old defender, long regarded as one of the club's own, has become the unexpected headline, sparking debate in pubs, workplaces, and terraces alike. The Parkhead corridors, usually adept at keeping matters close to the chest, seemed to burst with intrigue as news filtered out that Welsh was set to play a central role in the club's next chapter. For years, Welsh has been a figure hovering between promise and expectation, a homegrown lad who has worn the green and white with pride, but often found himself battling for regular minutes amid fierce competition. Yet the tone of this revelation feels different. It is not the routine update of a squad player signing on for another stint. Supporters sense a shift in the narrative, as if the club is preparing to hand him the keys to something bigger, something symbolic of Celtic's determination to forge identity through their academy once more. The rumor mill is already grinding at full tilt. Is this announcement the prelude to a new long-term contract, a statement of trust in a defender entering his peak years? Or, more curiously, could it be a calculated move to position him as a cornerstone while other departures loom in the background? Across Scotland, rival fans scoff. Yet even they admit the timing feels like a deliberate ripple through the Premiership landscape. Inside Celtic circles, the talk is of pride. Here is a Glaswegian lad, raised within the system, stepping forward at a moment when continuity and character matter as much as skill. For some, it is a gamble. Critics point to moments of inconsistency, lapses that suggest Welsh is still learning. For others, it is a romantic reminder that Celtic remain more than just a destination for signings abroad. They are still a club where one of their own can rise. As supporters wait for clarity, the buzz refuses to die down. The Stephen Welsh announcement may yet prove a simple renewal, but in the fevered world of Scottish football, it has already become a talking point drenched in meaning. At Celtic Park, the noise is only growing louder, and in a season already brimming with drama, this may be the spark that sets tongues wagging for weeks to come. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.